In one of the videos that I made recently, we were talking about some of the gods of Africa, and I was able to establish one or two things, but I want to go further. This may be a little bit controversial for those who have some kind of mind. Let me tell you one sincere truth. Until we come out of the box and begin to think differently, we may not understand or see the potentials embedded in Africa. I take, for example, the god of iron of the Yoruba extractions of West Africa, Ogun. The Yorubas believe generally that the Orishas are not to be worshipped and are not to be gods. You can quote me anywhere. That's the truth. That's what the Yorubas believe. It is only Olodumare that the Yorubas worship. And what is Olodumare? In Yoruba, there is something called Odu, like a pot, full of Mari. Mari simply means Odu, that has everything in it. So Olodumare, the God that has it all. That's the only God that the Yoruba believe to be worshipped. However, let's come back. Ogun is an Eniorisha. In Yoruba means Eniorishada. So the short form is Orisha. Now, what's spectacular about Ogun? Ogun was the god of iron. In his days, he was able to come up with developments like the harrow, cutlass, knives, and whatever you can think made of iron. Ogun was able to come up with it. Now, it is spectacular with the Yorubas when somebody do anything that has not been done before in a spectacular manner. There's always this tendency to gravitate into turning the person to an Orisha. Now, Ogun was turned to an Orisha. Instead of us as Africans to allow Ogun to continue his developmental process into producing other things made of iron, like the Rolls Royce, we are killing ourselves in corruption to buy today. Like the Mercedes-Benz Maybach that we are killing ourselves over today. To me, I believe that was the job of Ogun. We stopped him by turning him to an Eniorisha, to an Orisha. And there he stopped. I can continue on this forever. Because what of Sango? Man who has the understanding of conjoining and putting things together to make sure that there is lightning, there is thunder. Excuse me, what does that signify to us in today's understanding? Sango was not just a god of thunder and fire. Sango was supposed to give us electricity. Hey, I'm sure somebody's going to say, this guy is running nuts. I'm not running nuts. I'm just telling you to come out of your box and think differently. The other day I was talking about Dana Fojura, the masquerade that there is no amount of fire that can burn his regalia. Because we slept on it. The Chinese took it, developed it, and they are now selling it to all of us. What could have been an enterprise for the family of Dana Fojura to become exceptionally wealthy today and also a solution to all of us. If only the initial family of Ogun understood that Ogun should not be captured in a place to begin to worship, but allow him to continue his developmental process, and his children's children who has the understanding of how their father came about the blacksmith system, continue to work on it, to give us cars, to give us AK-47 that we spend lots of money to buy from abroad today. If only the right brothers listened to their fathers, who was a reverend, and said, oh, whoever makes a metal to fly is not of God. But his two sons flew metal for the first time. The white people did not turn them to any Orisha. Other people have taken it from them, developed it to different kind of aircraft, fighter jets, name it, all manner. The Boeings, the private jet that you pay so much money to buy, to rent. When the development was to come, it was tagged evil. This guy didn't listen. They went ahead and did it. Why did we stop Ogun? Why didn't we encourage Sango to give us electricity? Now, what I am saying, if you don't step outside of your box and think differently, you may not be able to connect. But I'm sure one day you will understand that these are the reasons why Africa is where we are today. These are the reasons why we are here where we are today. Like recently, I put a call through to one of the Dana Fojura's masquerade's descendants and asked that we want to, have a second video of this Dana Fojura expansively and talk about it. And the guy was, no, These are the secrets of our forefathers. What secret are you talking about? Even in the Yoruba tradition, it is said that Orisha ta ba fi come. Whatever it is that you have discovered that you refuse to let other people know about, such things will go into extinction. It is time for us to begin to think differently as Africans. If Elon Musk were to be an African, he would have been turned to an Enorishada. We will have idolized him by now. And that's the truth. There are so many of this that we cannot talk about in one video. But as time goes on, we'll come back and talk about them. The Oshun, Champono, name it, Oya, and several others that came up with typical African science. Imagine Yoruba. We have them in Ghana. We have them in South Africa, in Kenya. All over Africa, spread across Africa, that could have developed us to what we are supposed to be. But enough is enough. Somebody said, oh no, some of these things, there are some spiritual part to it. What spiritual part to it that cannot be explained? Spirituality is explainable because spirituality is a concept. Dana Fojura Regalia was a concept that is explainable. But we mystified it by ourselves and we store the development. So stop putting the blame only on the colonial masters and the perpetrators of slave trade alone. This is a challenge to you and I to look deeply into ourselves. What are those things that we can begin to work on and develop? Look at African roots and herbs. Imagine what the Chinese are doing with it today. They have even cloned some, developed more, and all of that. Herbs, our herbs and our roots. They are packaging it back to us in capsule. And then somebody will come, oh, there's this multi-level marketing. You can join it. They said this drug, it can clear your this, it can do this, it can do that. What are you talking about? We have it all here in Africa, but we stop the development. And you know what? Some of us are so selfish that we refuse to share so that others can develop it. See, your dream, the vision of Ogun was beyond Ogun. The vision of Ogun was more than Ogun. The vision of Sango was more than Sango. But the children of Ogun, they captured it, capitalized on it, and did what? Refused to let it go out so that it can be blown into full-fledged enterprise. Please, let's come out of that box and that thought pattern and begin to think differently about this continent called Africa. The only continent that does not need to import anything to survive is Africa. There is no continent on planet Earth today that can survive without Africa, without our mineral resources, without our grains, without what we possess. Only us can survive without them. If only we would develop ourselves into a full-fledged Africa. Mother Africa is calling on you and I. And I can assure you, Oriafrica, as I've always said, will continue to move from village to village, cities to cities, sitting down with the owners of the land to discuss their land and the potentials embedded in them that can be turned to enterprise for the good of their land, instead of sitting on it and allowing it to die like you and I killed it in Ogun and in Sango. Watch for more. Wait for more. We're still bringing more to you. We have a lot of line-up activities and interviews from knowledgeable Africans who are going to feed us with this thing and trigger something in you and I for the good of Africa. Please stay tuned. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for full videos at all time. We have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel already so that you can learn more, you can see more, you can read more, you can visualize more, you can be encouraged more that your motherland is blessed, that your motherland is waiting for you. Thank you. Ireo.
Guided by Ori, guided by Africa. Ori Africa.